Hello, Dr. Laura Sinnott here, audiologist and audio engineer. As head of devices at Tuned, I'm constantly testing earplugs out to make sure that we can give our members the best recommendations possible. I look at the manufacturer's published specs, and then I verify with objective measurements, and then validate with subjective listening tests. It's rare that I get excited about an over-the-counter earplug, but the day has come. It is by a Colorado-based company called CURVD, without an E. CURVD calls themselves a lifestyle brand, and certainly their marketing is very hip and cool. It features millennials and Zoomers with a Z, not boomers with a B, doing cool things with their earplugs. And whether we like it or not, this does help reduce earplug stigma. Another thing is they list parenting and self-care under uses. More and more earplug companies are starting to do this, and it's welcomed, especially by people like me. I'm a mother of young children, and I keep earmuffs and earplugs around the house so that I can protect my hearing in case of those, well, actually, they're daily expressions of frustration. Another part of the CURVD brand is sustainability. Historically, earplugs haven't been the most eco-friendly. CURVD has completely plastic-free earplugs. They're packaged sustainably. They're aiming for carbon neutrality and offer an earplug recycling program. Yes, you ship your earplugs back to CURVD and they will bring them to a nearby silicone recycling plant. Now, will anyone actually do this? I don't know. It makes me think of the Nespresso pods, those coffee pods that you can put in a bag and ship them back to Nespresso for recycling, which I used to do, admittedly. But I always wondered, like, what are they doing with those pods? I did a little research and I found out that they actually made shoes with their recycled coffee grounds. Not sure where that belongs on the spectrum of sustainability and helping our Mother Earth, but it's something, I guess. Anyway, you're probably more likely to lose them than you are to ship them back to CURVD. But again, if you do care about this type of thing, it's another positive. Physical fit. Now, what actually sets these earplugs apart from other over-the-counter earplugs? It's the soft and flexible design that allows you to get a better fit and allows you to wear them for longer periods of time. These are the softest earplugs I have ever put into my ears. Even the stem and outer part is soft and flexible. This is unusual. Usually these parts are made of hard plastic. The benefits are that it's easier to insert, it's easier to get a good seal, and it's easier to maintain a good seal, whether you're talking, chewing, singing, or playing a musical instrument. Due to the flexibility and the slightly tapered ear tip, I'm able to get these really deep in my ear canal. The reason that that can be a good thing is a deeply fitting earplug will reduce the occlusion effect. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that the occlusion effect is that rumbly, boomy, echoey sound of your own voice when you plug up your ears. Short, stubby, ear-tipped earplugs tend to worsen the occlusion effect. On the flip side, your own voice will sound more natural if your earplug is deeper in your ear. Audiologists all know this, which is one reason why they will often recommend triple flange mushroom tip earplugs, like the famous Etymotic ER20. The CURVD earplug does not have a triple flange tip, but I'm able to insert these almost as deeply as my ER20s. Now, a follow-up question at this point tends to be, well, am I gonna hurt my eardrum if I shove something deeply into my ear canal? The answer is no, you will not. Even long earplugs are not close to being the same length of your ear canal. Now, if you have some earwax in there, it is possible an earplug of any kind really can bump up against the wax, and that could be uncomfortable or even painful. If that's happening with you, see a professional and have them safely remove the earwax. What about sound reduction? These are filtered earplugs, so they're not gonna muffle sound the way a foam earplug will. They have an NRR of 15, but I really would rather you not look at NRRs because they don't represent the way an earplug is going to work in real life, typically. I prefer you to look for tables and charts and graphs that show you the sound attenuation or sound reduction across the frequency spectrum. Looking at the CURVD table here, in perfect laboratory conditions, if inserted properly, these earplugs will reduce between 23 and 30 decibels. This is a lot, but pretty typical for an over-the-counter filtered earplug. A common question at this point is, well, how much should an earplug block out? It is impossible to answer that question without more context from you. In my appointments with music industry professionals, we actually spend a lot of time discussing this. But if you simply want to prevent hearing loss, then measure the sound around you in dBA weighted, estimate your exposure time, and then refer to the NIOSH recommended exposure limit chart. To measure the sound, you can download the NIOSH sound level meter if you have an iPhone. And yes, if your Apple Watch is giving you alerts that it's really loud and you need to be careful, you should pay attention to it because it's decently accurate. Objective measurements. I verify earplugs two ways. One is sticking a probe microphone deeply into my ear canal and measuring the sound, and then the other is the real ear attenuation at threshold. That's where I compare thresholds with and without earplugs in. Verification tests in my ears showed the earplugs to reduce between 10 and 30 dB, depending on my insertion technique and how deeply the earplugs were inserted. When I inserted them really fast and there was a shallow insertion, they reduced about 15 dB less compared to when I took my time, really got a good seal, and they were really deep in my ears. I recommend you watch my How to Insert Earplugs video on the Tuned YouTube channel for a lot of tips. Validation. For subjective listening tests, I played back recorded music between 84 and 94 dBA, and with the earplugs, everything sounded much more comfortable. Even though these do reduce between 10 and 30 dB, the vocals sounded very clear, and I was still able to emotionally connect with the music. I also tested them out at a New Year's Eve party. I happened to be right next to the PA system because a magician was performing and my little kids wanted to sit front row. I put the earmuffs on the kids, I put my curved earplugs in, and things were blissfully comfortable. So I was able to laugh at the magician's cheesy jokes without stressing out about injuring those delicate little hair cells in my inner ear. Are these good for concerts specifically? Earplug companies always overpromise on music sound quality. And as much as I love these earplugs, Curved is not an exception. You cannot keep the music and block out the noise with any earplug. Earplugs don't know if the sound coming through the earplug is Yo-Yo Ma or a baby crying. However, engineers can design earplug filters that reduce sound more evenly from the lows, mids, and highs, and this will give you more natural sound quality. For me in my ears, the curved earplugs reduce more mids than bass and treble, so if I wanted a really good high fidelity experience, or as high a fidelity as I can possibly get using earplugs, I would still reach for my custom earplugs. But I'm not always striving for a high fidelity experience like at that New Year's Eve party, and I don't carry my customs with me all the time because I'm afraid I'm going to lose them. In other words, these plugs get the job done for concerts. To summarize, what is in tune about the curved earplugs? The soft and flexible physical material will increase the chance that you'll actually wear them and keep them in your ears. The price is right, $20 at the time of this video. Curved offers an extra small ear tip for those with tiny ear canals or for kids. They don't talk about kids, but they'll probably fit kids over the age of 6 or 7. The marketing resonates with young people, which helps reduce earplug stigma. The company cares about sustainability. What's neutral? The sound quality. It's what I'd expect from an over-the-counter earplug. It's not drastically better or worse than others that I've tested. And the occlusion effect. The occlusion effect actually almost made it to the in-tune list because it is slightly better compared, meaning it's reduced compared to other short earbud style earplugs because you can get them deeper into your ear canal. What's out of tune? The one drawback is the case. I've been carrying this now for months and using them regularly, and it is still, or I'm still having a very difficult time gripping it because there's not much to grip, unscrewing it without dropping them, and then taking the plugs out. There's just sort of a lot going on here, and it's not easy to manipulate. That being said, if you get this silicone carabiner clip accessory, this part makes it really easy to find in your purse or your bag or to clip onto your pants. And the silicone ring is colorful, so super easy to find. I have never misplaced these or lost them. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you were encouraged to try some curved earplugs out. By the way, I don't work for Curved. This is a completely independent review. Are you interested in curved earplugs? Remember to ask your employer if you have hearing health benefits from Tuned.